In this video, we will see how we can solve the questions in Tally Prime. So here I have taken three examples. The first one is company creation, the second one is stock item creation, and the third one is creating ledgers. So we will see one by one how we are going to generate the output for practical exams. For that, first we should have installed the Tally Prime software in our PC, which we have seen in the previous video. So after installing it, you will open the application. Okay, so this is the home page. So in the gateway of Tally, we will click on create. So now we are going to work out the first question, creation of company. So I'm going to click on create, and then we are going to create a new company. So I will click on create company. So here I will go back to my question. So the given company name is DMart Private Limited. I can copy it and paste it, or I can also type it out. So I'm going back to the question for the address. So on the state, I have to look into my question. If the state has been mentioned, I will give the state that is given in the question paper. So here in the question, it's given as Tamil Nadu. So I'm going to select Tamil Nadu, and the country is India. And if there is a pin code given, you have to enter the pin code also. If there is a telephone number given, you can enter that. Otherwise, you can leave it blank. There is a mobile number given, so I'm going to enter the mobile number. There is no fax number. There is a there is an email ID, so I will enter the email ID. Okay. So we have to set the financial year beginning and the book's beginning. The date has to be selected. So by default in the software itself, it will give the default date. So we can leave it as such. Uh, if specifically it is given in the question, then we can change it. Otherwise, we are going to keep it as such. Okay, then only we can calculate the accounts easily if the default date is being used. And we have to make note of it that if we are giving a previous date, for example, if I'm giving 1st April 2022, we cannot enter new journal entries, we cannot enter new inventory, or we cannot create new vouchers, because that period is already over. So the computer will take the date that is available here. So since it is already 2023, we cannot give a previous date, and we cannot give a future date. We have to use the current date. So that's why we are leaving it as default. So we are just going to leave it as such. I'll click enter, and here you can see we have to select the base currency symbol. Since we have installed the Tally Prime from India, the base currency symbol is already appearing as the rupee symbol, and the formal name is INR. So it is given by default. So if we are operating from some other country, then maybe it can change. So you can use dollar symbol, or you can use RS, the rupee symbol, and you can give INR. So I'm just going to leave it as such. I'm going to click enter. So before I accept this page, I have to take a screenshot of the company that I have created. So you can use the snipping tool. and take a screenshot of the page, and you can save it. Okay, so the first screenshot has been saved. Now I can click on accept. So I click enter, and my company has been successfully created. Now after that it will ask certain extra information like accounting, what are the accounting books that we want to maintain, what are the inventory we have to maintain, and the taxation. So you can give the information. Um, so I'm just going to allow everything. If you are going to enter the GST details, then you will give the GST number, and then you will have to give the address according to the GST um, details. Correctly you have to enter it here. In our case we are not going to use GST, so I'm just accepting all the default information. And if you want to use TDS, again you have to enter the TAN number, and you have to enter the deductor details. Okay, after entering everything, you will click on accept. Now our company has been created. You can see to the left hand side that the company has been created, DMart Private Limited. Okay, so this is how you solve the first question, and you take a screenshot of the question. Okay, now we will move on to the second question, which is creation of stock item. So for creation of stock item, again we will click on create in Gateway of Tally, and then we will go to inventory masters. Under that we will click on stock item. Now we will go back to our question. So the first stock item we have to create is Good Day. So I'm entering the name under. So here we have to create it under biscuits, which is the stock group. So here, once you uh, come to this option under, there is only one option available to you, which is primary. So we have to create the stock group. So in your right hand side you can see list of groups dialog box, right? So you will click the up arrow, click on create, and we will create the new stock group, which is biscuits. And here I will leave it as primary. I'll accept all the default settings. Now units, we will go back to the question. Units of measure is pack. So here again I am going to create the units. So I will click on the up arrow, click on create. I'm going to give a symbol for pack. So I'm going to use PAC as a symbol, and the formal name I'm going to give it as PACK, and the unit quantity code. This is a default codes that are already available in Tally software. So you can search for uh, the unit that we are using. So here it is already available, PAC packs. So I'm going to click on that, and if you want to use decimal places you can use it. I'm just going to leave it as whole numbers. So I'm just going to leave it as 0 decimal places, and I'm going to click enter, accept. Okay, that's it. We have created the stock group and stock units, and then now we have to enter the quantity. I'm going back to the question. So here, Good Day biscuits, the quantity is 200. So I'm going to enter 200 here, and the unit price is 20 rupees per unit. So I'm going to give 20. So here you can see 20 rupees per pack. So whichever unit we are using, it will be taking it by default, and here it is multiplying and giving me the value of the stock. So we will just check that and click enter and click accept. So we have created the first stock item. Now we will create the next stock item, which is bingo. Bingo chips. Bingo. So under we do not have a stock group called chips. So I'm going to create it. I'll click on the up arrow. I will click on create. Now I am creating a stock group called chips. The same settings. I'm just using the default settings. Accept it. And here again I have to check which kind of unit they are using. Even for bingo, we are going to use pack. So I can use the same unit. I will click on down arrow, select pack, the units that we have already created, click enter. Other settings I am not going to touch. I will leave it as such. Now we will go and check the quantity. Again, bingo is 200 quantity, and the rate per unit measure is 10 rupees. So 10. So here it will automatically take the unit of measure and it will multiply and give me the value 2000. Again, I will click on enter and accept. We have created the second stock item. Now we will create the third one, munch. Munch under the stock group chocolate, and the units of measure is PCS. The formal name will be pieces, and the quantity is 150 and the unit price is 10 rupees. So let's enter the details. Munch. So chocolate stock group is not there. I'm going to create it. There's an up arrow. Create chocolates. Chocolate. Leave the other settings as it is. Click enter. And units, now we have to create a new unit, so, which is pieces. So I click on the up arrow, create. PCS is the symbol. Formal name is so here the unit quantity code. And here also I am leaving the decimal places as 0. I'm going to use only whole numbers. I'll accept the unit. Other details I will leave it as it is. Now I have to enter the quantity. Quantity as per the question is 150. Then the rate per unit is 10. So it is calculating based on the information I have entered. So the value is 1500. I click enter, enter, and accept. Okay. So for this stock item creation, how am I going to take a screenshot? So I'll go back. I'll go to Gateway of Tally, and then I will go to Display More Reports. So under that, I will go to Inventory Books. Under Inventory Books, I will click on Stock Item. So here you can take a screenshot using a simple snipping tool. So then you will save this. Then you can go inside one stock item and you can take a screenshot. So this second screenshot is to view the quantity that you have entered. quantity and the units that you have entered. So you will take a screenshot here also. This is the second screenshot. So for each stock item that you have created, you will take two screenshots. So for stock item creation, you will take two screenshots for each item that you have created, and you will save it and keep it to be used in the PPT for Viva. Okay, then I will go back. Then I'll click on the next stock item. I'll take a screenshot again. Then I go to the next stock item. Again, I will take a screenshot. Okay, so totally, since we have created three stock items, totally I will take six screenshots. So that's it. This is how you generate the output for stock item creation. Next, we are going to move on to ledger creation in Tally Prime. So, for example, I have given a question. We have to create four ledgers here. First one is capital ledger, bank ledger, buildings, and rents and taxes. So for this again, we have to open a Tally software, go to Gateway of Tally, and click on Create. Under Create, under Accounting Masters, I will click on Ledger. Enter. Now we will see the first ledger is Capital. The name of the ledger is Capital. So here under, by default, it is giving me capital account, and also in the question I have to use capital account only. So I'm just clicking enter. Other details we need not enter here right now. So I'm just clicking on enter. Just check if the state is given correctly, if the country is given correctly, and if you can use the uh, an imaginary pin code, imaginary address if you want. Otherwise, you can leave it as such. Now here, uh, at the bottom end of the page, you can see opening balance. So we have to give opening balance for the ledger, right? So I'll go back to the question. Opening balance is 1 lakh. This is the credit balance, 1 lakh of credit balance. So here I will enter 1 lakh. Then I click on enter. It will ask whether credit or debit balance. So I'm going to keep it as credit. I'll click enter and I will accept. Click enter again. That's it. We have created the capital ledger. Next we will move on to the bank account. So bank account, under account also is bank, and it is a debit balance of 20,000 rupees. And here under account we have to choose bank. Enter. Other details I'm not going to enter. So I'm just accepting all the default settings here. If you want, you can choose the address and give any imaginary pin code. So here again in opening balance, it is 20,000. 20,000 of debit balance. Okay, just check whether it is showing debit or credit. For bank account, we have to enter debit balance. So check that and click on enter and accept. That's it. We have created the bank account ledger. Next, we have to create buildings. So buildings ledger will be created under fixed asset. Buildings. Under fixed asset, other information I'm just leaving it, and opening balance is 1 lakh. It is a debit balance. Check that and click on enter, accept. That's it. Next, we have to create rent and taxes. Under indirect expenses, other information we can leave it. Opening balance 10,000, 10,000 of debit balance, accept it. That's it. We have created all the four ledgers that are given in the question. Now, how we are going to take a screenshot of the output? I will go back to the home page. Again, under reports, I will go to display more reports, and under accounting, I will click on accounts book, and here under summary, I will click on ledger. So here you can take one screenshot of all the accounts that you have created. Okay. After that, I will click on each account that I have created. So first I have created bank account, right? I will click enter on that, and I will take a screenshot for the bank account just to check the opening balance here. Okay, whether it is in debit or credit. Um, so for that information, I will take a screenshot here. Okay, so one common screenshot in the first page, and then separate screenshots of every ledger I have to take. Then I will go back, then I will click on buildings. I'll take a screenshot here. Then I'll go back, capital. I'll take a screenshot. Okay, likewise, I have to take the screenshot of every ledger that I have created. Okay, I hope this is clear. So this is how we will attend the practical examination. So the screenshots are necessary. You have to keep it, and also you have to be sure of the steps in order to explain it theoretically, and also for the viva. So this is how you do it.